I don't know where this came from, but it was an interesting thing that we ran across. DK found it and passed it on to me, and we're going to chat a little bit about it today. But for some reason, baseball players do not drink anymore. Like, drinking among everyone, honestly, all people, drinking in general has gone down. Drinking rates have. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, many of which I'm sure you can intuit. But baseball players just don't drink. And if you didn't know it, they used to a lot. So there was an article written for Yahoo Sports. Jake Mintz, a senior writer over there, put it out about how baseball players just don't drink anymore. And he talked to some people and got kind of the breakdown of why and what do we do instead. So drinking is down across the MLB. Players report a clear cultural shift. Everyone's kind of like, yo, we don't really do that. And there's some very distinct reasons. Now, what we mean by this, the thing that is the norm that is very obviously different now is the guys having a beer or two after the game. This was really common in the minor leagues for me. And even when I first came out to the big leagues, just like you go get a beer, it's like being done with work and you go home and have a beer. You just have a beer with the guys, your family's there in the waiting room. You just have it while you're getting dressed. You chat about the game, and then you go home. Like, that minimum was just normal. That's just not really what's happening anymore. Instead, we have tart cherry juice or turmeric or some weird cocktail to help you sleep. Right? It's all about recovery. That has a big reason. That has a lot to do with why the drinking has backed up. Obviously, everyone knows drinking is not that great for you, just in general. But like, being hungover is now a no-go. Okay? So we'll get into that in a minute. Here's the big reasons why. Social media scrutiny. You don't want to be out. You don't want to be hammered in public, and you don't want people to take a video of you and then put it on the internet. It's that simple. You don't want to act a fool. You don't want to be out of your own faculties when human beings can see you in public, because nothing is private and nobody cares about your privacy. No one cares how it affects you. So you're very likely to run into a live streaming guy on Kick, frankly, in a bar. So God forbid that happens in a club or something, and you got to deal with it. Even if you're not even acting a fool, it could still look bad, so you want to avoid that. 2, weed's legal, and it's, for a lot of guys, a better option. Now, this is something that I see and know all about. Weed is legal in so many states. If you play in California, you can get it for free. Like, not for free, but like, you can get it everywhere. Washington, everywhere. Like, it's becoming more and more legal, and it's more of a downer than an upper. And getting up at night makes it so you can't sleep very well, and it dehydrates you. Literally, alcohol is the worst possible thing you could do as an athlete. It really is awful, truly. Like, it is the opposite of everything that you need at night, and marijuana doesn't quite do that. So that getting really popular has kind of supplanted alcohol, because at the end of the day, instead of a social lubricant, it was a calm down method, right? It was I just had blood pumping adrenaline at competition for 3 hours. What can I do to loosen up a little bit and not worry, not be so much in here and be more out here? And alcohol was the way you did it then. Now you don't need that. And it's much easier. And you don't have the side effects quite like alcohol do. So why would you not choose that? And then the last thing, hyper-competitive environment. Basically, the scrutiny, how short the leash is, you can't afford to not be 100% every day. And now, this is going to get a lot of pushback from the old heads out there, right? Like, I took it seriously. It's not more competitive now, but it is. It is more competitive now, but not in a skill way, in a what you're allowed to get away with way. There is no wiggle room here. You can't suck for very long. You have to be at 100% because everyone else is 100%. If you're the one out there partying and stuff and your body starts to fall apart because of that, other people aren't going to be doing that. So you're going to fall behind, and everyone's afraid of falling behind. Look deep within yourself. Is that something you felt before? Probably. So that's really what this comes down to. And there are some cultural things that have made it not. Basically, people would drink because it was around. Now it's not around because people are going to different places. So nightlife has become not gone. There are some guys that go out and whatever, but like it's basically exclusive younger single guys, right? That because you can't just app your way into a relationship. So like guys actually want to go out and meet someone. That's still a thing, believe it or not. And so there are pockets, groups, right? But it's not like the whole team goes together anymore for everything I just mentioned, okay? And because that doesn't happen, we've changed over to doing team dinners where alcohol is more of an optional thing than a mandatory thing, okay? So team dinners have supplanted going out at night. Guys like, hey guys, we want to get back and get to bed by like 12:30 as opposed to getting in bed by 4. So we're all going to go out to a team dinner. We're going to get a nice steak. We're going to have a glass of wine. Now the bougie thing has become like, hey, who knows about wine? Taiwan Walker. Shout out my man T. He knew all about wine. He always had the best ideas, the best recommendations for that stuff, and always had the best bottle on him. And he was always very generous with it. But it's more of a let's sit around and chat situation. Let's go hang out in a room and just sit and like play Fortnite or something, as opposed to let's go get blasted down at the discotheque. Yeah, I said that in real life.
We are longtime fans of Omaha Steaks, and I am drooling looking at the website right now, featuring USDA certified tender steaks, and also during their Red Hot Sale event going on right now this fall, 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus for the FT fam, an extra $35 off with promo code FOUL at checkout. You've been a big fan of Omaha Steaks since your early days as a pro.
Brings me back to my low A-ball days, because we used to survive on this. We get a big order at the beginning of the year, cook them on our little electric grill, can of peas, some mac and cheese. That was dinner for 4. We survived off Omaha Steaks. It still has a special place in my heart.
You thrived.
Well,
you guys ate like kings.
Yeah.
That's special. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, promo code FOUL at checkout. 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code FOUL at checkout. See site for details. Dig in.
So now team dinners, and it's just like how much steak can you eat has become the bonding thing. Guys are bonding sober more, which is way different than it used to be, right? The historical contrasts brought up in this article are like Wade Boggs in the early 2000s, like Mickey Mantle, Ruth, right? Mickey Mantle, who tragically had his career shortened because of alcoholism, which is a disease and is awful and makes me very sad. By the way, this is the article, if you guys were wondering. But like even the crazy Mets in the 1980s. Now, you guys all know about the 86 Mets. If you don't, you should look it up. Darryl Strawberry, you know, all these guys. But this is my favorite. This is my favorite excerpt from the article that I want to read to you. It says, the 1980s Mets, a raucous bachelor party disguised as a ball club, very well said, would drink together before, during, and after games. Former slugger and current color commentator Keith Hernandez, shout out to Keith, was famous for having a bucket of ice-cold beers waiting for him post-game so that he could partake when he chatted with reporters. There's video of this. You can see this. So this isn't like an accusation. This isn't an anecdote. There is evidence. His teammate and current broadcast partner Ron Darling wrote in his book Game 7, 1986, Failure and Triumph in the Biggest Game of My Life, that Mets hitters would shotgun beers during games. There were guys drinking, shotgunning beers during games. Now, there is one element to this that I don't know if I should be sharing, but I'm going to. Okay? I've never seen this. This is all anecdotes said by guys who played in this era, the 80s and the 90s. Okay? Now, I don't know if this was happening in the late 80s. This might be a 90s thing. But back in the day, in the Jordan Belfort days, Wolf of Wall Street, there was some pharmaceuticals going around, which were really early versions of Adderall, amphetamines. They were colloquially called greenies, okay? And they were very easy to get. It was very not regulated. Again, different time, no shade thrown around, but imagine that Adderall was readily available. Okay? Imagine that. Like, everywhere. Because that was happening, and guys were like, oh, what, is this going to make me feel better and get me over a hangover? Sure. So that was one thing. And then two, a way to maintain that would be to have a beer, right? The way you kind of shut off that effect was by drinking milk. This is real. This is a real thing. Other athletes, other sports did this stuff too. And it, again, wasn't illegal, wasn't against the rules either. Eventually it is against the rule, but at the time it wasn't. So that might have had something to do with it as well. Again, any way you can feel better to play every day, you're going to do it. And if it's not explicitly against the rules, you're going to try it. It's just the way that is. Every human being would do that. I'm not going to throw shade at anybody. Because if I played back then and things were exactly the same way, I would have led the league. Okay? So, no shade thrown, but it did happen. It was. Not naming any names. But there was lots of stories kind of told about this. A quick Google search will give you all the information. So if you didn't know about it, now you know. All right. So those times have passed, and it looks like cherry juice has supplanted the other things to get to loosen up. Cherry juice and marijuana is the new Bud Light, and the more you know.